Forced out of school for a tweet that he says was intended to be sarcastic.
And now Reid Sagehorn is going after the school's superintendent and the Rogers police chief, suing them for what he claims were violations of his First Amendment rights. Fox 9's Maury Glover live in our newsroom tonight. So Maury, does Sagehorn have a case here?
Well, his attorneys seem to think so, filing a federal lawsuit against officials in the Elk River School District and the Rogers Police Department. A local attorney says students have a right to freedom of speech, but it could be up to a jury to decide how far that right goes.
When Reid Sagehorn jokingly tweeted "actually yes" to an online post about whether he'd made out with a teacher earlier this year, his suspension sparked student protests.
We love him, care him, and we miss him, and we want him back.
Emotional comments at school board meetings.
I'm angry on some level, I'm sad, okay, but mostly I'm confused because I don't know how we got to this point.
And a social media campaign to bring him back to Rogers High School called Free Reid. But now the controversy is spawning a lawsuit that claims that by suspending, expelling, and forcing the three-sport athlete to withdraw from Rogers High for the last 4 months of his senior year, the Elk River School District violated Sagehorn's civil rights.
Students most definitely have a right to free speech, and the right is even more when you're outside the school hours and the school grounds.
Attorney Stephen Aggergaard isn't connected to the case, but he says while students have a constitutional right to express themselves, schools also have a right to manage that free speech so it doesn't disrupt the education process.
So schools get some latitude to manage to even restrict speech and to punish speech if there has been some sort of disruption.
Aggergaard says even though Sagehorn intended his tweet to be sarcastic, that doesn't necessarily matter because it wasn't taken that way. First by a parent and then by police.
Sarcasm is in the eye of the beholder, and if a jury were to determine that no, this somebody would reasonably see this as being an expression of truth, of fact, as opposed to something sarcastic, there could be some problems for a case such as this.
Now, Sagehorn is seeking monetary damages in the lawsuit. Aggergaard says cases like this usually end in a settlement instead of a large jury award for money, but he says they can bring attention to how people and institutions handle situations like this in the future. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, kind of a learning curve for everybody here.